Hi everybody, thanks for clicking on this video. I am here to represent the hardworking, low-income single parents. On this channel, I experiment with different budgeting styles, savings goals, and I share the strategies I learn as I go. So if any of that sounds interesting at all to you, please go ahead and click the like button and subscribe to follow my journey. Okay, everybody, we were able to do our February's budget yesterday. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out to see what our plan is for February. And I only did that early because this last paycheck in January will be paid on the 31st. So of course, that's going to pay bills that are due at the beginning of February. So February's budget is not looking great. Unfortunately, it's not looking great, but you know, we've covered all the bases. That's what matters. So let's go ahead and do the final budget because I was able to log into my employer's website and find out how much my paycheck will be. I always like to prepare my paychecks in advance. So that's why I call this my pre-payday prep. Before I get paid bi-weekly, that Saturday before, I can go in and check and see how much that upcoming paycheck will be. And that's when I do the budget, just so that it relieves any kind of stress that I have and so that I'm prepared for the upcoming week. All right, so let's get started. This paycheck is going to be paycheck C. So since this is a magic month, normally when you're paid bi-weekly, you get paid twice a month. But because this is a magic month, I got paid 3 times this month. I got paid on the 3rd, the 17th, and I get paid on the 31st. So this is what we call a magic month. All right, so let's do the budget for January 31st to see if it differs from our projection that we did at the very beginning of January. So this paycheck will be paycheck C. Should have put January 1st, but that's okay. January paycheck C, and this is going to cover the 31st all the way to February 13th. So I went into the employer's website and I found out that my paycheck is going to be $14.89, which is good because it's a little bit more than our estimated $14.50. $14.89, in my head I was doing the difference, so it looks like we had an extra $39 in the paycheck. So yay, confetti. All right, let's do our breakdown. So I like to do our breakdown here, and then I fan out to give you all of the nitty-gritty details to show you where the plan is for every dollar. We are on a zero-based budget, which means I make sure that every dollar that I get paid has a job and a place for it to go. So let's start with our automatic savings. Every time I get paid, this amount comes out. It's $175. So this paycheck budget is a little bit more detailed than the monthly budgets because I show you where every specific dollar goes. So this is $175 that goes to our auto savings. That means it comes out of my paycheck before I even see the paycheck. So $100 goes to my, I don't know why I say 100 instead of 100. You get the point though. Emergency, I guess it's the same thing, right? English is weird. Pool, my daughter gets $50 and then $25 goes towards my car note. So those are all separate accounts. That zeroes that out. So let's see what we are at now. We're down to $13.14. The next thing that we're gonna pull out is our fixed expenses. And I've already done this ahead of time just to kind of make it a little bit easier when I film. So instead of the $4.95, I've taken a couple dollars off, and we're gonna make the fixed expenses $4.92. And the only reason I can do that is that sometimes I pay a little bit extra on certain bills. That brings us to $8.22. Okay, so let's fan this out. So fixed expenses of $4.92. So the good thing about this paycheck is that I've already paid the mortgage with paycheck A and B. So since this is an extra paycheck, I don't have to pay any part of the mortgage in this paycheck. February mortgage is paid for. So the $4.92 includes $200 for grocery. So we usually have that $20 for allowance, but we said this month we are not giving allowance because for the past few weeks there's been issues. So that $20 instead is gonna go to her binder. So I don't think I accounted for that. So let's Bring that down to $472 actually. Just so used to allowance being in there. All right. So she still gets the funds. She just doesn't get the cash in hand, or doesn't get it to her little account. It goes towards one of her savings in her binder that I have for her. Okay, the next thing is gonna be car insurance. $118. Then we have $55 for internet. So this is when it helps to have done that monthly budget already, because we have January's monthly budget and then we have February's. So since we get paid the last day of January, all of these bills that are due up until the 13th, I have to pay with this paycheck. So I've written them in black here for February's budget. That's why I did February a little bit early, just so I can break down exactly what I intend to pay with this paycheck. So it's all in black. And the next one is $8 for Amazon, $8 for Netflix. And that leaves us with $83 to pay for extra utilities. So the utility bill was, I'm just gonna write that here so I remember, $240. We'd paid $75 with the last paycheck. Utility bill isn't due until February 15th, so we just put that towards it. So $240, that brings us down to $165, and then we're paying $83, which is about half with this paycheck, paycheck C. So we paid that with B. So that means with next month's paycheck A, we need to pay $82. I know, it's a little convoluted, but you gotta do what you gotta do. February's paychecks don't look like they're gonna be as much as we hope. At least we're estimating with less. All right, so extra utilities, this should zero out if I did my math correctly. It does. All right, so next thing is debt. So we're going to pay with Discover right now. I put $45 as an estimate. Actually, it's only $44 that's due, so debt is the next thing. We want to pay, I don't think I even budgeted for debt in the last paycheck because usually I don't have anything in there, but I do. I must have messed up my budget last month somehow, some way, because there's still $44 due on my Discover card. But that's okay. We're going to pay for it with this paycheck. That leaves us with $798. There's no need to fan that out. The only debt that's due is the Discover card. All right, the next thing is our Always Fund, of course, and I will give you guys the breakdown of what that means exactly. That brings us to $698. So for the Always Fund, these are basically high priority sinking funds. So small categories that I contribute to every pay period because they're full of things that are either coming up or high priority savings. Always Fund includes these things here. So it includes $15 for home maintenance, $15 for my daughter's clothes, $15 for our birthdays, $10 for the home goal saving challenge. So these four are all savings challenges that I have for the quarter. Then water gets $10. That's towards our water bill that's due every 3 months. Our pet gets $10. Every payday subscriptions gets $15. And our health envelope gets $10. I don't know how much I'm going to put to that because I don't know how much I need that. Let's make sure that's zero. Okay, it does. All right, in the health envelope, I have, just in case, usually I have health insurance and I do have a flex spending account. So usually everything in there will cover it. But I do have that health envelope just in case, I'll probably only get it to like $100. We'll see. I have used it because for some reason I forgot about my flex card.
What?
But it helps at the end of the year when all those funds are gone, if they're all gone, which they were last year because I had to have a dental procedure done that my insurance didn't cover all of. So the flex plan, that took about $300 out of it, unfortunately. But that comes out of my paycheck automatically for the flex plan, and so does my health insurance. So that's the always fund. We gotta do our variable funds. So the variable funds, we're gonna give it a little bit more than normal. We're gonna give it $290 since we have a little bit more to play with. Normally the variable expenses is $275. So with that $290, we're going to give, let's see, what does that go to? That leaves us with $408. So for variable, like I said, it's going to be a little bit more than normal. Personal is getting 50. Home is getting 40. Gas is getting 50. Entertainment 45. Dining is getting the extra 75, so it's getting the extra $15 because that's where we love to spend our money at. And then miscellaneous gets $30. So let's make sure this zeroes out. All right, so these categories are for different things. Personal, I usually use for just things that we need for ourselves, me and my daughter. Home, I usually use for toiletries or little small repairs or things we need around the house, light bulbs, stuff like that. Gas is self-explanatory. Entertainment is for if we want to go out and do something fun, movies, bowling, whatever. Once or twice, we've even used this for dining out if we had tried like a new food or something. If you saw my last video, my midweek check-in, I discussed some fun things that we did that were food related, so we used it for that. Dining out, $75, and of course that's for any time that we dine outside of the house. So if we go to a restaurant or fast food or whatever. And miscellaneous is anything that I purchased that doesn't fall under these categories, or if I'm out of everything, we use miscellaneous. That's it. That's kind of like my buffer, you know, for any unexpected things that come up. All right, so that leaves us with $408 for sinking funds and savings challenges. So priority, again, we're putting these all in order of priority. So priority is, of course, my savings challenges because that's the goal for this quarter and my 12-week year. So if you haven't seen that video, there is a video on that that gives you more detail on what my financial goals are for 2024. So the most important one right now that actually was not included in my 2024 financial goals, which definitely messed me up, is the succulent challenge. So the succulent challenge I have in my savings challenge binder. I did not, for some reason, include that in my calculations for my 2024 goals. But it is a goal of $702 towards a vacation. So I want to get that done as soon as possible. My goal for this quarter is to have birthday and the succulent challenge done at minimum. So those two should be done at minimum. So those are going to be my priorities that I put money towards. So we're going to start with savings challenges. We're going to put $349 towards our savings challenges. So I did the breakdown first and then added it up to find out how much is going to go towards our savings challenges. All right, so savings challenges, let's go here. So for savings challenges, we are putting in $132 towards our succulent challenge, and that should finish it up. That's the balance of what's left for that challenge, so that should finish it up. Yay. Get that out of the way, because that $132 definitely was meant to go towards other challenges, but that's okay since we forgot about that one. Birthday is going to get $210, and basically, let me show you that. This is how I figured that out. This is scratch paper, so don't judge me. So the goal for birthdays was $350 for this total, actually. $350 is all we're spending on birthdays this year. So we've already contributed $65 with the past two paychecks, 2 or 3 or whatever. There's $65 in there so far. We will be contributing a remaining $75 from our Always Fund. As you see here, birthdays gets $15 every paycheck. So throughout the quarter, I'm expecting $75 in total to go towards birthdays. So I took that off. And then the remaining balance is the $210 that we're going to pay with this paycheck. So $210 is going to go to birthdays. And then home goal is going to get $5 more. That's another savings challenge that I want to finish this year. It does get a little bit from our Always Fund. We're going to put just $5 more. And then there was a random $2 left from the savings challenge budget. So I'm just going to put that in our $2 savings challenge. So total here should be $349. It is. Ta-da! What's the one from the Rugrats? It goes, ba-ba! Why am I always making noises? I swear, I'm on the spectrum. People don't know it. I must be. All right. And then the last one is sinking funds. So we have $59 to go to sinking funds. I debated on whether I wanted to just put these $59 to savings challenges, but I kind of don't want to let my other savings goals fall by the wayside because there's still things that are going to be due throughout the year that I want to make sure still get some kind of funds. So for this, I wanted to put $23 in my daughter's hair fund. She will have an appointment sometime in February. I'm not sure how much it'll be, but I want so far her to have $225 in her binder because some of these prices for hairstyles can be a lot, and she's getting braids, so I would rather have the bases covered. So $23 is going to go to that. And then we're going to put the rest to our family fund binder because we used some this past week. So I would like to replace that. Oh, wait. And then the $20 goes to her. I forgot. And make sure that will go to, let me see. What I use to figure out where I want things to go is I look at, I like to look at my sinking funds tracker to help me decide where the money will go. This is also available on my Etsy site, so take a look. This is a good thing for me to look at to track where all of my sinking funds and savings challenges are. So I do look at this every time that I budget to see what needs more money. These in pink, these are all in my daughter's binder. So since that $20 should still go to her, I think we should put, let's put $5 in the school envelope so we can get that to $60. Let's put $5 in school, $10 in junior year, and then we'll put $5 in graduation. Let's do that. So her $20 is going to go to $5 in school, $10 to junior year, and $5 to graduation. That's how we're gonna split up her $20. So let's see. Perfect. That gives us down to $0. So that's it. That's the breakdown. I do like to color code these. It kind of helps me when I do my budget, so I'm gonna do that really quickly. This helps with the closeout. So the budget and the beginning of the paycheck and the beginning of the month are very important to help with the closeout. So let's take a look. So closeout is when I compare what I plan to spend here in my budget to what I actually spent after it's all said and done. All right, so let's color code these. Right, that's it. And the day before payday, I'll go in and fill out one of my budget sheets. Let me show you that. So I actually have a new sheet. So this is my new sheet. I'm gonna hold on to it. So I just edited my worksheet. This is also available on the Etsy site now. I just put this up on Thursday. So I have everything. The way that I budget now on paper is the same way that this is set up. So income, you put your income here. That would include any rollover that you have. Savings, you have here. Fixed expenses here, debt, variable expenses, which is the gas, the personal, etc. Always fund. I have more spaces here, which here for you, it will say high priority. So anything high priority that you want to put money towards, that's what you put here. Sinking funds and saving challenge are together now, and this should all budget down to 0. There are more slots here in the income because that will include any rollover. So for example, in this paycheck, I still have some money left in my wallet. So if I don't spend that by the end of this pay period, so by Wednesday, then it'll go into my new budget and I'll figure out where I want to put that extra money towards. So that's why I don't fill this out until the night before payday. That's when I'll know whether I'll have money left. And then I can figure out where I want to put that extra money to, and then we'll marry these in to this as well. I used to do it now and the pre-payday preps, but it just ended up changing so much before payday, so I'd rather do it the night before payday. All right, that is it for me today. I will, of course, like I said, come in on Tuesday, which is the night before payday, and we'll do our bi-weekly closeout. So that'll show you how much is left, and I'll be able to review how much my budget was for the last paycheck versus how much I actually spent. And I also do a monthly closeout. So at the end of the month, so after this paycheck has been spent, which will be on the 13th, I'll find out whether I have any money left and how we did for the month of January. So January's budget will compare what we expected to spend to what we actually spent, see how far off we were. And that just helps me, you know, build better habits for the months coming up. So by doing that, I found out that I needed more money in grocery. We started putting more money towards dining out. I started trying to put more money towards extra utilities for events that happen, like what will happen with February's budget. So it's a great thing to do. Closeouts took me a while to figure out, but I'm so happy that I did. I do them bi-weekly, and then at the end of the month, I do a monthly closeout. So that is it for me today. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. I appreciate you watching the videos. I want you to always remember it is about progression and not about perfection. Thanks for watching and happy saving, everybody. Bye.